It is Friday, August 29th, 2025. This is another edition of Baseball Today presented to you by Mountain Dew. Looking for a refreshing citrusy kick this summer? Go grab yourself a Mountain Dew. That is my man, Trevor Plouffe. I am Chris Rose, producer Dan, intern Sawyer along for the ride as we get you all ready for a long holiday weekend. We won't be here on Monday because of Labor Day, but go out, enjoy your baseball, enjoy the return of college football, enjoy your family, be safe. Those are our words of advice.
Yeah, Uber. That's always my advice on like long weekends. People are going to be out. Like, just don't drive. Just put the keys down, get the app. Let's go. You can do Lyft if you want.
Good call.
Or like Chris Rose does, a personal driver.
Yeah, you nailed it.
Yeah.
You got it.
It's me. I'm his personal driver.
Yeah, I mean, interesting. You let me know before the show started that you texted my youngest son, Brady, for fantasy football help last night. That was nice.
I haven't looked at one piece of fantasy literature, like no research whatsoever. So I had my high school friends league draft last night. And it's a league that I used to dominate, but I've just gotten so busy that I don't pay attention. And if you want to be good in fantasy, like you have to like waiver wires, you got to be like in the know, which I'm not. So I was, I know Brady's into it. So yeah, I was like, hey, I need some help, dog.
I'm always curious. How many leagues are you in?
2 now.
Okay, that's not bad. 2 is doable. I'm only
I
in
used
1.
to play like in that big boy league that everybody talks about, like Hosmer and all those guys.
Yeah.
Like I was in the first year of that, and I was like into it. I loved it, but then I've gotten over it.
How much did you have to pay to be in that?
That one was 5. I think it might be more now. 5
I think it's a lot more now.
I
think it's a lot more. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. How many leagues is too many? Let us know in the comments section. Whether it's baseball, fantasy, or football, wherever you want to go. All right, no tip of the cap because it's kind of all-encompassing for our first topic. It is officially a career year for the main muscle in Philly's lineup.
That one's drilled deep to right field. He has done it! 4 home runs in a game! A 3-run home run!
I wish I didn't ask a question in the cage. How many guys have hit 5 homers? Oh my God! But
that was below
this little guy, just a little guy, just a little guy.
Kyle Schwarber having a little fun with his teammate Brandon Marsh, who tried to douse him with water out of a bottle. So he becomes the 3rd different player this year to have a 4-homer game. Were you locked in, or did you have to kind of catch up in social media world?
I caught up because I saw the Phillies were just dominating. So yeah, I saw that he hit 4 homers, but I wasn't watching this game, through the entire thing. Did you? That's a sicko thing to do.
Yes, I did. It was just so
you didn't just tune into his at bats. You watched that game with that score.
Yes. So there weren't many games last night, so I think I had whatever the split was on the app. I don't know. Maybe there were 3 games going on.
Yeah.
At that time, maybe there was a 4th. I don't remember, but I remember seeing a shot that said Schwarber hits his 3rd, and I was like, "Oh God, I'm definitely tuning into his 4th," and he nailed it. And then here's his pop up against a position player for the 5th. He became the 4th player that had a shot at 5 homers in a game. I was kind of shocked it was that many because it's only been done 21 times.
Yeah, exactly. That's a rare feat to do, and then to have the shot at the 5th is even more rare. And he had a pitch to hit too, although it was 50 miles an hour, which is
it's crazy. He was 0 for his previous 20.
Yes,
coming into this, he did nothing in that series against the Mets. He comes back, and I always hear in baseball jargon, well, if you can just get a little duck snort, as Hawk used to say, or just some sort of bleeder or something that finds a hole, like that's all you need to get yourself going. Dude did not waste any time getting back on track. That, to me, that's the most amazing part of this whole thing.
Well, I mean, look, one series is one series, or a couple series. It's fine. Like a guy like Schwarber understands that. I think when you've been around the league that long, it just doesn't bother you as much as somebody that's still trying to establish himself. You've been through slumps before. You understand that there is light at the end of the tunnel. And honestly, I think at this point he understands I got work to do. Like I can't let this seep into my brain as I'm struggling. It's like we have to go maintain our lead in this division.
Mm-hmm. So when you have a night like that, and he's now put up the sort of numbers that he has, he's at 49 homers. So Ryan Howard's franchise mark of 58 is certainly within reach. He's going to have to get going, or just have a few more 4-homer games that'll put him over the top. But the discussion of NL MVP, because yes, Ohtani's been amazing. Pete Crow was a first-half participant in that discussion, but has totally fallen off. Fernando Tatis's WAR is exceptionally high. So, too, is Schwarber's teammate Trey Turner. But you look at their numbers, and it doesn't feel like, gosh, those are MVP-ish. So, is it down to Ohtani and Schwarber? And if so, how close is it?
Well, I mean, the betting odds would tell you it's not close at all.
So what do you say?
Does Paul Skeens get to get thrown in there?
Well, I mean, if there's a year to have it, people will say, well, God dang it, the Pirates haven't played a meaningful game since I know April.
You cannot hold that against people. I don't know.
So do you put him in it?
He's got a 207. He started every single game. He'll get to 200 innings. He's got a sub-1 whip. I don't know, man. I honestly don't know. Like when Kershaw and Verlander won MVPs, like what were their statistics? Did they match up to a Paul Skeens? Is he doing that?
Well, it's a good question. Sawyer, maybe you can get on that and put those.
I'm going to look it up right now.
Well, so let's start with the two position players, even though they're both DHs. Ohtani and Schwarber. Just in your opinion, when you put them side by side or just watch them play baseball, do you feel like one has got an edge over the other in MVP talk?
It's always going to be Ohtani for me. You know that, Chris. I just think that a guy that's doing what he's been able to do, I know his pitching numbers don't look great on the year. He hasn't done it a ton. But if he has a month and he just had his best start of the season against the Reds. If he does that and continues, like, he's going to win the MVP. Like, that's just how it is, man. Especially if it was somebody else doing it. Schwarber, the guy had 50 homers, was playing defense as well. That's a different story. But you're talking about a DH going up against the guy that plays starting pitcher, and is one of the best hitters in the league. So it's going to be Ohtani.
I would just like to hear, and I hate these discussions. It's very much like the MJ LeBron discussion, because when you take one side of it, it's like you're shitting on the other. And I think that is the exact opposite. Like, these are the two players we're talking about. So if we pick one, then you're like, oh, well, you're being a hater. I'm not being a hater, but I don't see any world in which Kyle Schwarber wrestles the MVP away from Shohei Ohtani. The areas where he's got him beat right now are home runs by 4 or whatever it is, and RBIs, which is more of a indication of where you're hitting in the lineup. Shohei's been hitting leadoff all year. Schwarber, I think, has done it 10 times. So to me, that's a weird way to gauge it. Like, everywhere else, Shohei's got him beat.
Shohei almost is one dotting it as a hitter. So we're talking about a guy that has a higher OPS. You mentioned, Schwarber leads him in homers by, let's see, Shohei has 45, so he leads him by 4. Yeah, it's Shohei's got 17 stolen bases, and again, he's also a pitcher. Like, it's Shohei to me, especially in a year like this where it's been his only real competition would be Schwarber and I guess Skeens. Right now, the odds have Schwarber at plus 800, Ohtani minus 800, and then it's Machado and Skeens are the next closest, but they're not. I mean, they're plus 10,000.
Amazing, isn't it? The other question I wanted to ask you about Schwarber was, when we eventually get to October, where does he rank on the Phillies in terms of most important player? So if you were to come up with just a list, here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Where's he rank?
I'd say he's 4.
That's pretty much where I've got him. I have him behind Harper, because I think he's such a tone setter in October. I actually have him behind Trey Turner.
Okay, I have him in front of Trey Turner.
Okay. The only thing is, A, the position he plays. Number two, he's still stealing over 30 bags a year. And when every 90 feet counts, that could be huge for them at some point. I have him behind Christopher Sanchez because now he goes from an interesting middle of the rotation October piece to the guy who's got to set the tone on the mound. And your boy Duran.
Yeah, Duran, yeah.
So
I mean, those are so important. The Phillies have an offense, he's been a huge part of the offense, but they have guys that can bang the ball. That's kind of what they do. So they need, back in the bullpen. Duran has to be good. Starting pitching has to pick it up. Is Aaron Nola going to be part of the conversation? I don't think so as of right now. But starting pitching, it doesn't have to just be Sanchez. You could be talking about Luzardo or Suarez. Like, they are, I think, more important than Kyle Schwarber as far as a postseason run. How they go, the team is going to go as well. I was thinking about this, though. Schwarber batting second, Harper behind him, opens the Phillies up to a lefty lane, right?
Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing. They're both crushing lefties.
Yes.
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
I thought I was going to find something there, and I'm like, maybe they'll change this, and maybe they'll stagger and put Schwarber back at top and trade Turner too. But they're crushing lefties, man. In fact, I think Schwarber has a better OPS against lefties, or it's dang close. Right now, Harper 872 OPS against righties, 859 against lefties. So screw your lefty lane.
You asked for stats. Sawyer, thank you very much. Or Dan, whomever got those. Kershaw, when he won MVP, an ERA of 1.77, 239 strikeouts in 198 and a third, 6 complete games that year. We don't get complete games anymore. And a whip of 0.86. Verlander, I believe he won it in 2012, an ERA of 2.4, 250 Ks in 251 innings. So a 1-to-1 ratio there. 0.92 whip in 4 complete games. So Skeens
he's on pace with all of those. Maybe not some of the counting stats, but you're talking about ERA plus, he's there. You're talking about whip, he's there. You're talking about ERA, he's there. I don't think it's happening, but he will get MVP votes.
Okay, so today will be his 28th start, and we'll talk about that a little bit later in the show. So that's going to give him, what, four more after this? If he gets 8 strikeouts, let's say he's got 5 starts. So he could get 40 more strikeouts. That's a pretty good number for him.
It's really good.
Right around 220. He's not going to get to 200 innings, I don't think.
No.
But it's possible.
No, it's not
possible. It is possible. He's 39 shy of it right now.
5 starts for 39 innings. You're talking over 7, averaging over 7 a start.
He's got to get 8 innings per start. It's possible.
He's got to go Fernando Valenzuela. Just do it. At the end of a season, if the Pirates are out for sure, they'll let him do that.
All right. So before we finish this discussion, I am curious for anybody that does believe Kyle Schwarber is the MVP. Just give us a reason why. I'm not going to sit here and yell at you. Yes, go ahead.
Before these guys start telling us why, Shohei still, as a hitter, leads the National League in slugging and OPS and OPS plus, in total bases, in runs. He leads all of the big leagues. So, we're not talking about a pretty good hitter. We're talking about maybe the best hitter in the National League.
He also leads in one other category. Funkiest looking swing that does most damage. I don't know where I find that, but I don't even have to look it up because it's accurate.
He's a stud, man. Look, don't you dare get Judge Ohtani fatigue. I'm telling you.
Yeah, you do have to, if you're voting, you do. Ken Rosenthal did an interesting column on it in The Athletic, is that you have to kind of block out the fact that you voted for one of these guys before and just look at it in 2025. Like the one thing that bothers me is when you hold things against people because they didn't live up to the standards they've already set, or you give somebody a lifetime achievement award. Like Peyton Manning won. I know you all hate it when I cross-reference sports, but I'm going to do it. Peyton Manning won the Super Bowl MVP in Super Bowl 41, and he had no business winning it. It was a lifetime achievement award. So, I don't know. That's that. Let's move on. The New York Yankees are going to try and win their 6th straight game tonight. They're on the south side of Chicago, and they were bringing their big boy pants with them again last night. Guys just continue to rake. 3 more homers by that team. I think they've got a league-high 228. Got 27 more than the next closest team. I think maybe that's the Dodgers. Jazz Chisholm continues to swing it. He has played exceptionally well. Another homer for Jazz where he dropped the bat and gave it one of those last night. But it was his post-game comments that kind of made people's ears perk up a little bit.
We're never satisfied with second place or third place. You know, we just lost the World Series last year. That's second place, and we still wasn't satisfied. So I don't think we're going to be satisfied with coming second or third in the division. You know, that would be even more upsetting than losing the World Series. So right now it's just like we're going to go out there and win that, and then we're going to go and win the World Series.
Okay, well, it was the last 3 seconds of that really took off. We're going to win the division, then we're going to win the World Series. Any problem?
I mean, if you, for 1 second, thought that Jazz Chisholm was going to say anything different than that, you haven't really been paying attention to Jazz Chisholm. The guy is just going to spout out confidence no matter what. A lot of times, probably not even really confident, but he's saying it anyway because that's just the kind of personality he has. I have no problem. You want all of your players to feel like it is a disappointment if you don't win. And guess what? As a fan base, I think it's different. I don't think you need to look at it that way as a fan base. Like, you can get to the World Series, you lose it, it sucks, but hey, I still consider that a good season. For the players, you want them to have this mentality. It's like, no, that's not good enough. It's not good enough until we win the whole damn thing. That's what you want your players to feel like. So I'm totally fine with Jazz saying this. The only thing I have a problem with is him saying that finishing second or third in the division this year would be more disappointing than losing the World Series.
Yeah.
That's I don't agree with that one, but everything else I'm fine with Jazz saying it.
Yeah. I never have a problem with guys saying, right, we're going to win the World Series. Because if not, you're going to go, well, I don't know. It's going to, it's hard to win the World Series in baseball. We all know that. It's very, very challenging. Now, his detractors will say this. Well, then you better step in the batter's box and do something in October because you've got a 524 career OPS in the playoffs. Did virtually nothing a season ago in the playoffs. So if you're going to say that, this is on you. And guess what? I think that Jazz would turn around and say, you know what? You're right. I sucked last year, and I have to be better. And when we win it, I'm going to help us win it. So, yeah, that's just kind of the way it goes. Why do people get so afraid when athletes are honest?
Like what?
When they say something, and then they say, oh, that's bulletin board material. Like, do you really? Who cares?
I feel like, and look, call me what kind of player you want to call me. Just average, below average, whatever it is. I know I didn't have the greatest playing career. I did play in the big leagues, though. The amount of times where I cared what the other team said about me was zero, I think. The only time I cared was my guy Aaron Crow was talking crap to me in front of my wife, and I took him up top the next night. That's the only bulletin board material I ever had in my career. No, I don't. Why would I care what that person says? We're gonna play anyway. We're gonna match up. We'll figure it out on the field. Do I care what you say? I don't know, man.
Aaron Crow.
Yeah. I've told this story before. I feel bad because I think he's a nice guy, but he was inebriated, and it was a night out in Minnesota. And I met up with Moose and Hosmer. They were just out to dinner or something in Minneapolis, and Olivia and I went and met them. And he was drunk. He was saying something like, you know what? I own you, man. I own your husband. Because at the time he did. And I was like, okay, man. All right, thanks. Next night, fucking 3-run homer.
Did you stare him down around the bases?
I didn't need to.
Wow.
He was probably hungover as shit.
I bet you anything, Olivia's like, my man just got that MFer.
I don't think she really wasn't even paying attention. But I don't like that. Don't be saying that in front of my wife.
Yeah, you can't embarrass anybody like that.
No.
It's not how we roll around here.
No, not me and you.
Thank you, Aaron. I will say this. The one thing I can't stand when players say is, well, they're not a very good team after they whooped your ass. Because I would always come around and say, well, if they're not a good team and they just beat you, what does that say about your team?
Yeah, I don't know who talks like that, but yeah, that's not.
You hear it all the time. We beat ourselves. I love that one. Like what the other guys did or didn't do.
I think sometimes there's credence to that. Like, hey, you made some errors, you mental lapses. I think there are times to say that.
Okay, so did the Yankees lose the World Series or did the Dodgers win the World Series?
A little bit of both. A little bit of both there, Chris.
So when we say who won the World Series in 2024, do we actually say, well, the Yankees lost?
I mean, did you hear what the Dodgers were saying after the World Series? They were pretty much confirming what I'm talking about.
They still had to put the ball in play.
Put the ball in play. They beat themselves. I think that's what they said.
Yeah, they still had to put the ball in play.
Only the no-name said that. That's what Dan Rourke said, talking about big league players.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
Well, all right. We can move on. Because it's time right now for our Like a Bosch Player of the Week, brought to you by Bosch Power Tools. Just like Bosch Power Tools, this player got the job done through hard work, grit, determination. Who is your Bosch Player of the Week, my friend?
My Bosch Player of the Week is a guy who's kind of been doing it all year long. Call it my Bosch Player of the Year. He might be like comeback Player of the Year. I don't even know what his numbers were last year, but damn, he's having a good year. George Springer. On the week, 12 for 27. That's a 444 average. He had a double. He had 3 homers, 5 runs driven in. He scored 9 runs, stole 2 bases. He's slugging 804 over the last 2 weeks, Chris. That's the best in Major League Baseball. And he's just been hitting the ball very, very hard this year. He's a very, very big reason why the Blue Jays are in first place in the AL East.
Do you know George at all?
Just from playing against him.
He's awesome.
Awesome.
And I know people say, well, how awesome can you be if you're part of the cheating scandal of 2017? We're duly noted, Your Honor. Duly noted.
Young kid on the team. Don't blame him.
But I'm just going to tell you this, that in terms of guys you like talking to around the dugout when you see him, he's great. He's an awesome dude. His wife was a star softball player in college. So he used to come on Intentional Talk and tell us, he would come home when he was in a slump and his wife would be giving him tips all the time. And he couldn't run from it because she knew exactly what was going on.
He's like, dang, she's right.
Yeah, exactly.
There's nothing worse than when your wife is right and you're like, dang it.
That's not always true.
Well, I don't mean that. I'm kind of joking, but it does hurt a little bit.
Are there times
I humanize George Springer a little bit for people? Because he's a stud. I know he's part of the 2017 thing, which I don't. Again, young player on the team, can't blame him. He's got a speech impediment, like a stutter.
Yep, major.
So, like, it hasn't been easy for him to be in the spotlight, but he still gets it done. Very nice person. I guess I don't really know what I mean by that, but I feel like that does like humanize him a little bit.
Oh yeah, and he has been a tremendous example for kids who have stuttering issues.
Yes.
He goes and speaks to those kids and is very upfront about, what a struggle it was for him. And now he's one of my favorite players to interview.
Like, good people could get involved in bad situations too. It doesn't totally change who they are as people.
I would agree with that.
Okay, thank you.
Totally. I would agree with that. Yeah.
Especially when you're 19 or 20 years old.
I get a Bosch Player of the Week, too.
Oh, yeah.
Mark Vientos.
Yeah.
He is steamrolling right now. 11 for 27 before an 0 for 4 last night with a couple of Ks. 3 doubles, 4 homers, 11 ribs. Let's remember how smoking hot he was last October when he led the Mets in nearly every statistical category there was. Hits, average, homers, ribs. He did it all. He almost one-dotted it in the playoffs last year. So if this is the Vientos they get down the stretch and into October, look out, because the first few months, it was brutal. Brutal.
You could tell when he's got that little hop right there on that homer that we just showed that he's really feeling it. I mean, the Mets have had a bunch of guys go off. Beatty's been hitting really well. Nimmo's been hitting really well. The usual suspects, the top of the lineup as well. But to get Vientos back to like what we saw last year is obviously massive for them.
So baseball today, this episode sponsored by Bosch. When you pick up a Bosch power tool, it makes you feel empowered, confident, appreciated. No matter what job lies ahead, you're going to crush it. As a global leader of power tools, measuring tools, and accessories, Bosch's innovative product solutions built with quality engineering and precision in mind. The assortment of products ensures that you have the right tools in your toolbox to tackle a variety of tasks with relative ease. Bosch's 18-volt battery platform powers numerous tools, creating a consistent energy home base that keeps the brand's family of tools running. Like your favorite players on the field, Bosch Power Tools make sure you are powered up, ready for anything that gets thrown your way, because the more you Bosch, the more you feel like a Bosch. So head on over to BoschTools.com today to learn more about power tools you need to get the job done right, each and every time. Well, two teams that have been getting the job done right all year long meet north of the border tonight. It's the National League's best, the Milwaukee Brewers, taking on the American League's best, the Toronto Blue Jays, in a 3-game set. Toronto hasn't been to the World Series since 1993. Milwaukee hasn't been there since 1982. Which fan base is going to be more crushed if it doesn't get to the final series of the year?
I think this one's Milwaukee in a landslide just because they've been in the postseason so much as of late and just have not gotten the job done. If you go back to 2018, they lose in the NLCS against the Dodgers. If you go to 2019, they lose the 1-game wild card to the Nationals. You remember the Trent Grisham play. 2020 wild card series, they lose both games to the Dodgers. 2021 lost the division series to the Braves 3-1, not really in the series. 2022, they did not make the playoffs. 23 lost the wild card. 2024 lost the wild card. It's been a huge disappointment in October for Brewers fans as of late. And the fact that they're probably going to run into this postseason with the best record in all of baseball, the emotions are running high in Milwaukee. They're ready to have their heart broken. I hope it doesn't happen for them. I think they would be very heartbroken. So I'm going Brewers.
Do you think, though, and I guess I need to present my stats first. Yelly and Rhys Hoskins are the only Brewers this year that are making more than $8 million. Jordan Montgomery's on the team, but he hasn't played.
Okay.
That was part of that trade.
I see where you're going with this. Okay.
The Jays, how many players are making double digits in terms of at least $10 million this year? How many of their players?
A lot of their, like almost all of their rotation.
So just give me a guess. How many of their 26 players?
26, I would say 10.
10 is correct. 10. Okay. And that includes 4 guys that are making over 20. So Toronto's supposed to be here. There's not as great a year as the Brewers are having. Who's going to get picked? The Dodgers? The Phillies? The Mets? People are going to be on the Padres. I bet you anything that Milwaukee will be probably the 5th most picked team to make it to the World Series out of the National League. Maybe even 6, depending on how the Cubs are playing in September.
But that not by their fan base.
Probably not, but I will say this, that last year I was as crushed as – there's no more tough luck fan than a Cleveland sports fan when it comes to a few of their – right? We haven't won it since 1948.
Minnesota's right up there. We're
Y'all won it in 87 and 91. Move to the back of the line.
87 and 91, bro.
1948, bro.
Yeah, but we're talking about all sports, all encompassing sports we're talking about. The Vikings are like
I get it, but 1948. Let's just focus on that for a minute. Last year, I was heartbroken when we lost in the ALCS, but I sat there, I was like, yeah, we can't compete. We can't compete. So you're telling me that the Brewers, if they get eliminated in the NLCS, are going to be like, I mean, they're going to be bummed, but they're going to get it. Because at the end of the day, they are not paying for the players that these other teams are.
I still think the way they'll look at it then, if that's the connection that you want to make, they're going to say, well, then we're never going to win it because they're not going to spend like the other teams spend.
But that's basically the way it is. It is.
I don't know. I think it's for Toronto. They've kind of gone on this magical run, and they signed Vladdy. It's been great. I understand both teams, both fan bases expect a lot out of their teams now. I think both will be heartbroken. But I don't know, man. There's something about the things that haven't gone right for the Brewers in the postseason that just makes it even harder to swallow.
I think we need to hear from both of your fan bases and fans of teams, whether it's like a Cleveland or a Tampa or, Kansas City. Like, these are teams. Kansas City's been spending a little bit more money, and they do have a $200+ million ball player. But I think y'all understand what I'm saying. That you're not a top 10 spender in the league. You're just not. So can you still have a great season and be fully satisfied if your team does not make the World Series? Because I guarantee you the fans with both New York teams, with the Dodgers, with the Phillies, even with the Cubs this year, like, those fan bases are not going to be satisfied unless they get to the World Series and most likely win it. So I need your feelings in that comments section.
Can I say something to Blue Jays fans who I've been at war with on social media?
Please.
They don't feel like we cover their team enough and we have a bias, a Yankees bias, anti-Blue Jays bias, which is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a Twins fan, okay? We're little Canada. We're the Canada of the South. Let's go. I root for the Blue Jays. David Popkins, hitting coach, gets fired from the Twins. I like the guy a ton. Spent a lot of time in the cage with him. He's doing wonders up there in Toronto. Tyler Heineman, old workout buddy. If you don't know his story of what he's gone through the last couple of years, go look it up. Lost his dad. His house just got burnt down. His childhood home got burnt down in the fires recently. Having one of his best season of his career, and was on probably the best team that he's ever been on. I root for the Blue Jays. Okay, I just want that out there.
Yeah, listen, that's a handful of Blue Jays fans that are saying, well, they don't, that's probably because you look at Talking Yanks clips and stuff like that. This is called baseball today. It's not called Yankees today. It's not called New York today. It's not a New York bias. Now, at this time of year, do we end up talking more about New York teams? Yes, because they're in the playoff.
Well, if they're good.
Huh?
If they're good, we'll talk about them.
Exactly, because they are good. And we talk about LA and we talk about Philadelphia. And who we don't talk about much? The Chicago White Sox. Right?
Twins or the Guardians.
Right, the Guardians. Because they haven't been good at this point of the year. So if you're good, we will talk about you. And you can ask the Milwaukee Brewers about that, whom we spend talking a lot about. And the Toronto Blue Jays, whom we
think a team that we don't talk about enough.
Huh.
The Detroit Tigers.
You're right. And I think that's more because nobody's pushed them for months. But I do want to get to them. And I'm gonna put them on the schedule next week because there's some stuff I want to get to. In the meantime, I want to get to this. Long weekend, a lot of fun. Holiday, that could mean there's a few bashes or two. You're going to go out and enjoy yourself. Well, I want to tell you about this game-changing product that I actually use a night out with drinks. It's called Z-Biotics Pre-Alcohol. Z-Biotics Pre-Alcohol Probiotic Drink. It is the world's first genetically engineered probiotic. It was invented by PhD scientists. It'll tackle rough mornings after drinking. Here's how it works. When you drink, alcohol gets converted into a toxic byproduct in the gut. It's a buildup of this byproduct and not dehydration. Everybody thinks that's to blame for those rough days after drinking. So pre-alcohol produces an enzyme to break this byproduct down. Just remember, make pre-alcohol your first drink of the night. Did you hear that? It's your first drink of the night. Drink responsibly. You're going to feel your best the next day. So go to zbiotics.com/baseball. You're going to learn more. Get 15% off your first order when you use baseball to checkout. Z-Biotics, it is back with 100% money-back guarantee. So if you're unsatisfied for any reason, they will refund your money, no questions asked. Remember, head to zbiotics.com/baseball. Use the code BASEBALL at checkout for 15% off. All right. Fun stuff we got coming up this weekend on the East Coast. A couple of big-time prospects will hit the mound in their major league debut tonight. We're going to start with Jonah Tong of the Mets. We knew that he was getting called up earlier this week. Well, he met with the media before last night's game against the Marlins, and he said how he broke the news to his family.
So I was walking in, and I was like, I'm holding it together, no tears. And I called my mom, and I was like, hey, where you at on Friday? And she's like, get out. Use different words on that one. But, yeah, she got me pretty good. I think for the rest of, the hour, I was just, bawling. My dad didn't pick up originally. I think he was having a tough day at work, but I think that made his day a little better.
I love that vulnerability, that the guy was crying for an hour and he shared with us. That's great.
He looks like he's 15 years old.
Right?
Baby face.
I know.
I'm excited to watch this kid pitch, man.
Yeah. So the bigger question is...
Oh, Zach Greinke?
He does look Greinke-ish with that delivery. And he is a power arm, too, man. His strikeout...
Greinke was a power arm, too.
Insane.
People forget about that.
Yeah, it's good stuff. So he's going to face the Marlins and Yuri Perez. Meanwhile, the Red Sox just called up their top pitching prospect, Peyton Tolley. Left-hander's going to square off at Fenway Park against Paul Skeens. Now, your TV or whatever streaming device you watch your baseball on only gets one game. Which one are you watching?
I think I'm going the Mets game and Jonah because they need starting pitching more than the Red Sox need starting pitching. The Red Sox kind of have been quietly one of the best starting pitching teams over the last, month, 2 months. They got guys doing it. For the Mets, it's kind of been what they've needed. So you got McLean coming up there doing his thing. Peterson's been good. You can talk about Clay Holmes. I feel like he's been pretty consistent all year. But if Tong can come up and be and Senga's been iffy. They need some starting pitching. So I think I'm going to be focusing on Tong. And because McLean has had so much success in his first 3 starts, I even have a more of affinity to watch because I'm like, all right, are the Mets the pitching factory that we kind of thought that they were? If developing guys like that means that you're a pitching factory, if he comes up and can kind of set the tone the way McLean has, I think that puts the Mets in such a great position.
Yeah,
I don't know what it means for their postseason plans. It'd be crazy to have 2 rookies start in the postseason for you. I don't think that'll be the case, but it's an interesting storyline.
Mendoza said whomever is the best pitcher at the time is going to be in our rotation.
You don't think Senga's going to get a start? I know he's been scuffling as of late, but that's crazy to think that you'd start rookies over him.
It'll be something that we get to discuss. Yeah. Hopefully Tong applies the pressure to the point where it is a decision for Mendoza and the rest of the
7th rounder, Jonah Tong, by the way.
What's that?
He was a 7th rounder.
Yeah, and McLean was a 3rd rounder. I believe he was drafted in the 3rd round twice, once by the Orioles and then once by the Mets, if I'm not mistaken.
Back-to-back years, yes.
Okay, so you let me know. You can text me how things are going at Citi Field because I'm going to be watching what's happening at Fenway Park. Boston's playing exceptionally well, just finished up a road trip where they went 7-1. And this kid, have you seen his photo? Everybody was laughing there's no way this guy's 22, Tolley. He was just drafted in the 2nd round a year ago out of TCU, where I think he was a 2-way player. He used to hit bombs, too.
Put it up, Dan. Let me see it.
Well, yeah, we'll see if we can get a nice, tight shot. There was shots of him on Twitter last night. We'll see if Dan can crop that in and get it in our show at some point. This guy hit all levels this year. High A, Double A, Triple A. So in High A, he was striking out nearly 15 per 9. At Double A, it was still over 12 per 9. Look at this. Does that guy look 22 to you? Yes.
Where is he from? Let me guess.
Well, he went to TCU.
I was going to say somewhere in the South. He looks more like a Smoky Mountains guy.
Sawyer, look up where he's from, where he went to high school and stuff. But the guys did get me a good stat, and you were right about the Red Sox. Since June 8th, starter rotation ERA is 3.23. That's the lowest in all of baseball. So they don't need him. But part of the reason that you're watching the game is because Paul Skeens is on the other side. And I love Yuri Perez. I'm happy he's back. He's going to be the guy that's going to be opposite Tong in New York. So it's not those are 4 young guys in their early 20s that you want to watch pitch tonight. Yeah. So that's great. That's really cool stuff.
It's good for baseball.
Yeah, very, very good. We get any word on where Tolly's from? Anybody look that up? Oklahoma. Yukon,
Perfect.
Oklahoma.
Nailed it.
You did.
I mean, I don't think the Smoky Mountains are in Oklahoma, but like same.
Same idea. Yeah.
Maybe
the
maybe they're not the same at all, but in my mind they are.
Have you spent much time in Oklahoma?
Chickasha, Oklahoma. I went. I think it was for my brother's like 13 and under AAU tournament. It's the first time I had a hamburger, and it was like the best burger I ever ate. And we mentioned it to the guy serving the burgers. He goes, "Oh, thanks. We just killed the cow yesterday." I'll never forget that for the rest of my life. Fresh ground beef.
Wow.
Yeah, I think that's the only time I've ever been in Oklahoma.
I was there to cover the 2001 U.S. Open, and one cool thing they do is they have a media lottery. So if your number gets picked, you get to play the course the next day, as set up by the USGA. So when you hit it in the rough, you're dealing with the same shit that they do. Well,
that's
on
not
the 18th
fun.
hole. What's that?
That's not fun.
No, but I mean, to say you get to play a U.S. Open course set up for the U.S. Open is pretty damn neat. And I was a decent golfer at that point. Retief Hussain missed a putt this long. I'm holding up my fingers. It's about 18 inches. That would have won him the U.S. Open on Sunday. Instead, it allowed Mark Brooks to tie him. And then you play 18 holes on Monday instead of just having a quick playoff. So not only did I lose my tee time on Monday, I had to stay in Tulsa, Oklahoma, 1 billion degrees, an extra day. Then Hussain won the tournament anyway. And I had to interview him afterward, and I'm sitting there the whole time holding the microphone like, you motherfucker. Like, you couldn't have done this yesterday? God damn. There you go.
It's probably better. I'm telling you, play that with the rough setup the way it is, you're just going to have a miserable time on the course.
Oh, I know. I would have been kicking it out of the rough. I would have even used my foot wedge if I could find my ball.
Exactly.
Oh. All right, once again, we are off on Monday. Everybody enjoy the long holiday. We're back on Tuesday. I'm sure we're going to have a ton to talk about because by then it'll be September, and we're going to have less than 4 weeks to go in the baseball season. So, once again, I don't care who you are. Cincinnati, Kansas City, Texas, Cleveland, somebody make a push. Make it interesting. Start stacking some wins so we can start talking about some other teams down the stretch. I just need like one or two of you to come out of the weeds, to come out of the high weeds, at Southern Hills in Tulsa, where I didn't get to play golf because of Retief Hussain. Everybody thinks it was Goosen. It wasn't. Spelled Goosen, but Hussain.
Okay.
I just call him the guy that cost me my tee time at the
I didn't know you were still mad about that.
I've moved on. Anyway, for our one-of-a-kind producer, Dan Rourke, our awesome intern, Sawyer, that is the uber-talented Trevor Plouffe. I am Chris Rose. We will see you Tuesday. Have a happy, healthy Labor Day weekend. Catch you in a few days here on Baseball Today, presented to you by Mountain Dew.